Hello everyone, Junior Bacon Chi here. I decided to make a PvP guide updated to 7.2.5. A lot of stuff changed. I don't know if you are all familiar with the changes. Um, a couple things that I'd like to go over is because of said changes have occurred between how much burst there is in certain DPS classes. It actually changed the way that I play quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the talents that I pick now, and it actually changes a lot between twos and threes. And I will be going through talent selection and a little bit of positioning and how it is that I personally play now that they have changed so many different things. All right, so a couple things that they changed. They changed Spirit of Redeemer. It is now it now lasts for 8 seconds. It used to be 10 seconds. It now has a 3 minute cooldown, and it used to have a 5 minute cooldown. They also changed Ray of Hope. Ray of Hope now only increases your healing that's delayed by 50%. So, when you pop a Ray of Hope on yourself, it does not save you as much as it used to. It's still very effective though. Um, they also changed Greater Fade. It's now only 4 seconds. It used to be 6 seconds. And because of these changes, it actually makes me change the way I play, but not the way that I spec with those. I still, pretty much no matter what combo I'm coming up against, I always pick Holy Ward, I always pick Greater Fade, and I always pick Ray of Hope. I have played around a lot. My rating is not very high right now. I have done a crap ton of skirmishes trying to find people that I want to start regularly playing with again, and so I've done some twos, some threes, a ton of skirmishes in both twos and threes, and just trying to get the hang of all the different styles now. So one thing that you will need to understand is I run Relentless a lot of the time now. I also run Vin and Vigor every once in a while. I basically the talent choices that I change a lot is Relentless and the top tier, the second tier, and let's see, one, two, three, four, five, the fifth tier. Okay, so I will switch between Rapid Mending and Greater Fade. Actually, I'll just go down from the top down. So, Gladiators Medallion, you all obviously know what it does. It just makes your trinket a 2 minute cooldown instead of a 3 minute cooldown. Relentless, it reduces the duration of incoming crowd control effects by 20%. I used to never run this, but the fact that burst is so high, I actually have a twos that I was going to show after explaining all this in my guide. I absolutely 100% of the time run Relentless if there's a balanced druid, if there's a mage, and if there's a rogue. If there's a mage rogue combo, absolutely run Relentless. I have a perfect example of this. I get sapped and then sapped again, and then I get sheeped right after the sap. And the sheep, because of the diminishing returns and Relentless running, I think the sheep only lasts for 1 second. If I was not running Relentless, and let's say I trinketed the second sap because I panicked or something, or I didn't, and I ate the sap, and then the polymorph came right after, instead of just being 1 second, it would have been 3.5 seconds, and that's just too much time. So Relentless, it changes the way that you play, but it's totally worth it with high CC comps. I literally cannot survive and get my team to survive if I'm not running Relentless, if they have such high controllable high CC. Inner Focus, I will run this if, let's say, they have a Mage, Warlock team where they have lots of range CC. I'll also run this if, like, let's say they have a Mage and a Resto Shaman. Resto Shamans have Wind Shear. They have a ranged silence, inner focus, range silence, or counter spells and range silence. So I will run inner focus if I feel like they're going to interrupt me a lot. I have been getting better at juking, and the better I get at juking, the more I actually run Vin and Vigor now. One way to juke, uh, I will, let's say I'm running Greater Fade, and I'm casting Heal, and it's a long cast. If your enemy team gets used to you running Heal, one way that's a really good way to juke is run Heal, and then as you interrupt your heal, pop Serenity right afterwards. So let's say I'm taking a lot of damage or my teammate's taking a lot of damage, I run heal, I juke it, and then I pop Serenity. I'm the point of juking is to make it so you don't get kicked. But the downside of juking is you're now not getting your heals off. Let's say you do this once, twice, and then you do Serenity, you're still getting your teammate topped off, which is extremely helpful and effective. So that's just a little trick that I've learned where if you're running greater heal, which I absolutely do, um, if the only time I'm actually running rapid mending is if there's a dot team. So if they have a lock, if they have a balanced druid, if they have something that has a lot of bleeds or poisons, because rapid mending, the basically it's just balanced druids and locks mainly, because the point of those classes is to spread their rot damage as much as possible. Rapid mending is the perfect counter to that. Pop rapid mending, it only has an 8.5 second cooldown, and it just bounces. And it also increases the range by 20 yards. So it's quite a bit. It jumps, let's see, so the range is 40 yards with its spec into it, which is pretty far. I mean, it'll bounce from here all the way to that post to the next guy, and it does a very, very good smart heal. And when you have dots running on you and your other two teammates, just bounce, 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 and it's able to do a lot of healing. If they are not running a dot comp, so let's say it's just, warrior, mage, whatever healer they have, I will absolutely run greater heal because it does change your gameplay a little bit. The opener, if I'm running greater heal talent, my opener is Prayer of Mending on me or melee or whoever I'm grouping with. Pop Prayer of Mending, get Renew up on everyone. It's still Holy Ward at the beginning. And then immediately, if you're running Greater Heal, it also increases their maximum health by 20% for 15 seconds. So before your team even takes damage, obviously I'm not spec'd into it, so it's still 1.8 second cast. But if you come out of your gate and you do that opener, Prayer of Mending, you got your Holy Ward, you got your Renews, and then you immediately start healing your team, it doesn't take that much health or mana. Like, how much mana? I mean, it's not taking hardly anything. And before your team even takes 1 ounce of damage, their health is being increased by 20%, which helps immensely because you are taking so much burst damage with this current patch. I mean, Subtlety Rogues can do massive burst, Mages, Destro Locks, Enhancement Shamans, Warriors. I mean, there's so many classes, Hunters, Marksman Hunters. There's so many classes that can just do over 1 million crits at a time, that having that increased 20% heal or health really makes a big difference. And if you're running against a comp that isn't going to be able to do a lot of ranged interrupts, and you have Vim and Vigor going, then your healing is increased by 20%. You pop Light of Turu on your teammate, which increases your healing done by 45%. So that's 65% more healing on a target that has 20% more health. I hope that makes sense. It's a lot of plus healing to your greater heal, and it makes your greater heal faster. You pop Light of Turu on a target, do the heal when they're taking lots of damage, and the fact that they already have so much more of a health pool, it really helps buffer that that burst, because when they burst, it is really, really high burst. And then mix that with Ray of Hope, it really does help. So, just to recap, run Relentless whenever there's a high CC comp. You're just going to get chain CC'd. It's inevitable. The fact that mages can blink and sheep, you can get chain sapped, you can get chain cycloned. I mean, I know you can Greater Fade and Ray of Hope out of things, um, or I'm sorry, Holy Ward out of things. You can Greater Fade when they're going to do a sheep. You can Holy Ward when they're going to do a sheep. But the fact that the fact that a rogue can sap, and then sap, and then sap again, and then a mage can come in and sheep, and then you can get cycloned, and then you can get stunned, and then you can get stunned again. Like there's so much with teams that can do that much crowd control. Um, those same comps have an insane amount of burst when they start bursting, and if you're stuck in a 5 second stun, 7 second stun, 6 second sheep, or however long they are, if you're getting stuck for that long, 6 seconds can make or break a game. So Relentless is incredible. Mixing Vim and Vigor and inner focus between what comp you're playing against is extremely smart. I always play Holy Ward because you absolutely need your either you or your teammates to be able to get out of one full CC. It's just a free trinket. Greater Fade in Arena, absolutely. I mean, even outside of Arena, 2 seconds isn't that huge of a difference. I still can last quite a while, even though it's only 4 seconds versus 6. Rapid Mending and Greater Fade, it's super situational. Like I said, dot comps, rock comps, Rapid Mending. Personally, that's what I run. Really high burst, Enhancement Shaman Warrior, Greater Fade. Do Greater Fade, absolutely. Juke 'em, do a Greater Fade, juke, Greater Fade, juke, do Serenity. So you're still getting your heal up, and then hopefully they wasted the wind shear or a pummel on you, and then you can actually get some greater heals back on. And the fact that it's 15% faster, 20% more health, it really adds up and it really does help. Ray of Hope, to me, I know I've had some comments um, in my last couple of videos of people saying that they run Spirit of Redeemer. Honestly, I've done it on a ton um, of different skirmishes and threes games and twos games. Personally, for my playstyle, I cannot get that one to work. It just does not work with my playstyle. It's too long of a cooldown. When Ray of Hope is only 45 seconds, you can cast it on yourself. You can cast it on a friendly. Spirit of Redeemer, it's a 3 minute cooldown and it only lasts for 8 seconds. To me, that's just way too long, especially with how high the burst is. If a two or threes games was lasting for 10 minutes, sure, you could get that off 3 times. Versus 45 seconds. It's just, you can use it so much more. That's personally what it is that I do. Which is actually kind of nice because now I'm actually using Greater Heal now, using Vivid and Vigor now, and I'm using Relentless now, so I'm switching those up. On to regular talents. With regular talents, I pretty much always do Trial of Light. I always do Angelic Feather. You can play around with other things. It's just what it is that I do. With the patch notes, they did renew a buff renew by I think 100%. So that is incredibly helpful. Angelic Feather is still just, I mean, the fact that I can pop one here, pop one here, pop one here, and now if they're running around this pillar, trying to catch someone through the middle, I'm trying to pillar hump so I can run around, keep away from people. It's got a decent cooldown, 20-second recharge, mixed with Greater Fade, pop that, and this makes you extremely fast, makes you 90% faster, you can get away from things. I personally love Angelic Feather just because I can have so many down at the same time. Love to put them around the pillars, so then when, say there's a resto shaman and he's trying to juke around and you got a warrior and he's running around, if he sees this feather, you're just going to make him so much happier. Also, I Holy Fire, Earth grab totems all the time. You can just one-shot them with your Holy Fire, get that out of the way. Anyway, so I run Trial of Light, I run Angelic Feather. If there is a map where there's a bridge and your team and your tactics are to get people on the bridge, I will sometimes run Shining Force because you can still use Censure. It just gets broken on damage. So personally, I'm still running Censure a lot. I have found Shining Force helpful at times. It's still a 45-second cooldown, and there's so many gap closers now. Let's say you're all up on the bridge in Blade's Edge Arena, and you pop everybody off the map or off the bridge, and they have a mage or a warrior or a monk. Um, there's so many gap closers now. A warrior can just heroic leap and then charge, and now you just used your 45-second cooldown thing, and it really didn't do that much. Because we have Ray of Hope and Greater Fate, those are two things that save much more than a Shining Force will do. And if you can actually stun an opponent, stun a healer, stun a rogue that's doing high burst, and let's say you're playing with a lock, he just feared the rogue away, and then the rogue gets back on, he cloaked or he trinketed, and he just gets back on your warlock and he's going down quickly. The fact that you can do a 5-second stun, it helps so much. And then the fact that smites reduce the cooldown, it's an incredible tool to have at your disposal. I always run Light of the Naru because it reduces your Holy Word spells by an additional 2 seconds. To me, that's a no-brainer. Guardian Angel really doesn't do that much to me. And Symbol of Hope doesn't make any sense. Also, if you are running Rapid Mending, you run Piety because it reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. If you are running Greater Heal, absolutely run Surge of Light because your healing spells and your smite, let's say you get an opponent, you Holy Word Chastise them, and you're running Apotheosis, you do 3 smites, and then you can do Holy Word Chastise again. 3 more smites, Holy Word Chastise. As you're doing those smites with Surge of Light, you have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost no mana, and it can increase to 2 charges. So let's say you're just focusing on ceasing, smite, smite, smite. You're doing 6 smites back to back, and a mix of 3 smites, chastise, 3 smites, chastise, and then you're running a couple heals and flash heals just to get everybody up real quick. If those charge up to 2 charges, you have 2 instant free flash of lights or flash heals, and it can make or break the game. It can do a huge increase in your healing. So I run Surge of Light with Greater Fade. I run Rapid Mending with Piety. I basically always run Divinity. When you heal with your Holy Ward spells, your healing is increased by 15%. To me, that's a no-brainer. I mean, let's say you do Sanctify, Light of Toru, and then you get your Serenity. You just increased your healing. If you're running Vim and Vigor, that's 20% plus 45%, so that's 65% right there. And then if you run Divinity, that's another 15%, so that's 80% more healing for 6 seconds if you line up things correctly. And I normally will do a Sanctify if I need a single burst. I will do a Sanctify first. The reason being is, here I'll show you. So let's say I've got Sanctify off cooldown, Serenity off cooldown. If my team is taking really big rot damage, I will absolutely save Sanctify to do second. So let's say my mage and my rogue. Let's say I'm running rogue mage priest. We're all 3 of us are about 50% health, and the rogue is getting burst by the other. So like let's say there's a warlock that's doing rot damage, and a enhancement shaman that's doing single target, really high burst. I will then, let's say the rogue is taking high burst, but we're all taking damage at the same time. I will do Serenity first to get that 15% buff healing. I will do Light of Turu on one guy, Light of Turu on another, and then Sanctify. With that Sanctify is being increased by 80% on all three targets, or I'm sorry, on at least two targets, because you can only do Light of Turu on two people at once. So normally I'll do Light of Turu on both my friendlies, and then I will save my Desperate Prayer for myself afterwards. So that's just a strat that you can use. Light of Turu on Mage, Light of Turu on Rogue, do Serenity on Rogue or Mage, whoever's getting burst the most. Get all of those healing buffs going, and then once you got all that stuff going, then you do Serenity, and all three of you, basically, you just topped everybody off. It's a very easy way to get everybody up. And then if you're playing against a Rot team, Prayer of Mending is also instant cast, and that's bouncing around getting everybody up as well. So it's all very, very situational. I can't tell you specifically how to play against every single comp perfectly because I don't know what you're playing with and who you're playing against. It's extremely situational, but again, Greater Heal, Surge of Light, Piety, Rapid Mending. Those two things go really well together. Vim and Vigor, if you're not running against a lot of high silence teams with high burst. Inner Focus if you're against a team that's just going to be able to kick you a bunch. And that's basically it. I think the opener I already showed you, everything is just very situational. Holy Priest is just as strong as it was. Greater Fade and Ray of Hope did get nerfed a little bit. But it basically makes you play a little bit more strategically, and it also makes it so you rely on your team a little bit more. So just get familiar with your team. Get familiar with people that you want to play with a bunch, friends, real-life friends, family members, whoever you play with, and just do good positioning. Let's say there's a bunch of people fighting right here, and they have ranged over here. Stand over here and do your heals. Or stand right here and do your heals if they're right there, because that means that the mage would have to come all the way over to silence you. If you see that, just move over here and let your team just CC them. Draw them in with your positioning. And besides that, I think I basically covered what it is that I do with my honor talents, with talents, and then I'll show a little bit of some 2s and 3s. It's not super duper high rating. I am learning a lot from the skirmishes that I'm doing, and I am starting to push. I think yesterday I pushed up to 1602s just in, a matter of 30 minutes just from what it is that I learned from skirmishes. And I think that it is an extremely strong class. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and let me know what comps you guys are playing. Let me know what you guys find successful, and what comps you're struggling against. I'd love to play against those comps and see if I can give any pointers when it comes to that. So I will now show you the gameplay with some commentary. Thank you guys very much for watching. Alright, so here's the examples that I wanted to show you. I'm going to show, I think, 2 or 3 2s games and then some 3s games. In this 2s, it's Holy Priest and Arms Warrior against Discipline Priest, Enhancement Shaman. So this is a very aggressive play style. I go in, I'm doing the typical spec of the specking into Greater Fade, Ray of Hope, Holy Ward, and doing the Prayer of Mending buff, not Greater Heal buff. So here I'm just going in, I pop basically all my cooldowns, I stun, I do as much damage as I possibly can, do as much control as I can, keep my warrior up time on this disc priest as much as possible, and we get him down pretty quickly. And you can't do every game like this, but it does pay off if you and your warrior or DPS buddy know when to burn your burst. Here's another game where I play way less offensively, way more defensively. My opener is the same, renews, prayer of mending on everyone or on my melee. I got my holy ward up on myself, and that's basically what my opener is always. I go in and just try and I got the stun off on that shaman as he tried to jump away. I'm going through and I destroy the shamans when I can. I mainly just focus on destroying Earth Grab Totem or Earthbind Totem, whatever it is that does the slow. I just got my warrior back up, popping Ray of Hope, and try and go through a mind control, but I get polymorphed at that point. Basically, I just play what it is that I always play, and just try and keep my warriors uptime by putting feathers down in the right spots, so that way my warrior buddy can have as much uptime as possible. Fishing out silences with mind control. I love it when they silence that and focus on that instead of silencing my heals. Again, my warrior is able to get all those feathers and run into those, and he finally gets the kill because he's able to keep up with the shaman, no matter how many times he does the little port thing and everything. So, alright, we're against double DPS. This is where I actually run Relentless, and you'll notice here in just a sec, this is the example I was talking about earlier. I got Holy Ward on myself, and you'll notice Holy Ward's going to disappear, and then I get sapped. 6-second sap, followed by a sheep. Now look at how long the sheep is. Only 3 seconds, I get sheeped one more time. 1.5 seconds, and that's it. Their diminishing returns are up, and they can't do any more sheep spam or anything like that. My enhancement shaman does as much damage as he does, so he forces the rogue to stealth, and then we just focus on the mage. Ice block, mass dispel, and done game. But the only reason that game worked like that is because I spec Relentless. Here we got Destro Lock. I think he's a Frost Death Knight, and then me versus Fire Mage, Demon Hunter, Fury Warrior. And I wanted to show this game. You're not going to get tons of triple DPS, but it is effective in some high and lots of low brackets because they can just do so much burst. So I basically pop Apotheosis, Greater Fade. I already popped my Inner Focus so that way I can keep my heals going. And basically you're just buying your team enough time to be able to burn them down. I pop Ray of Hope on myself, Flash Heals, Light of Taru. I pop Guardian Spirit. I literally just do as much as I can. And they've already killed the mage, get the warrior down, and that gives them enough time to just one by one burst them down. This I'm playing Mage, Warrior, Priest, Frost Mage, Fury Warrior, and myself against Frost Mage, Frost, Death Knight, Mistweaver Monk. Warrior's doing an insane amount of damage right now, so he just basically sticks on the monk, and we win that way. They do put lots of focus on me, so I do Prayer of Mending, Renews, Holy Ward, and then right off the bat, you'll notice the Mage and the Frost Death Knight come up. I wasn't expecting them to play so aggressively towards me, which is fine. I pop Greater Fade, I pop my Inner Focus here in a sec, and I'm able to start getting heals off on myself. I actually fish a kick with Mind Control, and then I pop Inner Focus for the Mage, and now both of them have burned their kick or silence or whatever it is that they have. I'm basically just keeping everybody topped off. They buffed Renew 100%, so always keep Renew up on people. Always keep Prayer of Mending up as much as you can. And fish kicks out as much as you can by doing Mind Control. It really is a lifesaver because most classes have an interrupt. And if you can get one interrupt out of the way by fishing the Mind Controls, it super duper helps. So basically they focused me a ton. My mage did a good job doing Ring of the Ice Ring or whatever that freezes everybody to keep them off of me, and then I just Mind Control one at a time. They burn the enemy one at a time, and it's a done game. So with a burst of a mage and a warrior, it works pretty good. Here we're against Unholy Death Knight, Fury Warrior, Resto Druid against Mage, Warrior, Priest again. Basically same opener. They burst really hard on the Warrior, so I actually pop all my cooldowns. I pop Ray of Hope on him, Inner Focus on me, and Greater Fade because they got him down so quickly that I was worried that I was going to get spell locked and they would just be able to get the kill. So I burned all my cooldowns, but luckily for our cooldowns, they're basically around 30 seconds each. So they use their burst or their cooldowns. I use my cooldowns. I'm keeping Light of Turu up on me and the priest or me and the mage right now. I get shadow kicked from mind control, and now I'm able to keep them alive and keep them going very easily and topped off because they've used all their cooldowns. So now I just mind control, get the Death Knight again, mind control him, because if there's only one person bursting on your DPS, normally they can survive for quite a while, especially the mage because they got blink and everything, and the snares and slows and everything like that, and Ice Mage does. So they were a pretty tough team though. They had some pretty high burst. Luckily our cooldowns are so short that it allows you to do a lot of stuff. So again, play around with the specs. Tell me what it is that you guys do that seems effective. I've tried other things than Ray of Hope, but to me it's still the best option. Relentless is good. Specking into Prayer of Mending or Greater Heal, both of those are very solid options. Here you see that the Ice Mage is just doing tons and tons of CC. The Warrior breaks out, I just mind control, and the Resto Druid's dead. So please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to hearing from what it is that you guys like to spec and do. Thank you guys very much for watching.